Okay, before we get into this one, I'm furious about this. Honestly, in the footage today, there are these tiny little black screens of corruption which happened for seemingly no reason at all. I don't have time to go and get the footage again, so I hope you don't mind. I hope it doesn't bother you. Most people probably won't really be bothered, but I'm fuming. I'm absolutely furious about it. I'm sick of having issues with my capture card now, so I don't know. I just thought I didn't feel comfortable not mentioning it. Hopefully it'll be right when you watch it, and I'm going to see what I can do about it in future, but I'm raging, so I hope you enjoy. Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to the video. I'm back for 5 again today. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today I'm talking about how I think the new TTK, the one that's going to come in I believe 6.2 update, that everyone's really excited about, I'm going to talk about how that could be potentially ruined if another thing isn't altered. And this is specifically on console, but also with controllers on PC, I think. I don't think the functionality works on mouse and keyboard, but let me know if that's incorrect. Yes, we are talking about this snap lock-on aim assist that I talked about a few weeks back. Now, when I talked about it back then, and I'll show you on screen the evidence I provided back then of actually functioning. Oh my god, I just can't get on board with what it's doing. I think it's so dumb. It's so inconsistent. Wait, is it doing it? No, it is doing it. Then it went to the head. I can't. Are you serious? Yes. Yes. I can feel it just pulling it on. No. No. Yes. Oh, gee, I can't get on board with that. People seem to care. It caused some problems, but it's kind of been swept back under the rug again now. No one's really thinking about how it could impact the next iteration of the game, as in Battlefield 5 after the 6.2 update. And it also had some apologists at the time as well. Some people saying, well, this is fine and this is why. And, well, I'll get into all of that as well and explain why I don't think it's okay. But yes, if you didn't already know, this was implemented a while ago. It's something that was in Battlefield 1 and such like previously, but wasn't in Battlefield 5, and then they added it. It's where you aim kind of near an enemy and it snaps you onto them instead, basically reducing the need to aim and the overall skill gap within the game. This is part of why everyone feels like they're now getting laser beamed all the time by everybody, because, well, basically, they are. You are. We all are. Everyone is able now to smash people at a lot of ranges because you can kind of lock onto them. So at long range, people are using long range weapons and killing you, so that makes sense. But then at shorter to mid range, people can use almost anything they want, and if they aim near enough to you, they're gonna shoot you now, because easy mode. Why not? Eh, Dice? Now, I don't just want to sit here and complain about this, that's not the point, but what I am going to do is highlight that this is a problem, and sometimes we need to sort problems out. They've already come out and said they're not going to change this, and well, I'm going to keep talking about it then periodically, I reckon, because especially when, and yes, this does mean, especially when the new TTK drops in 6.2, I will talk about this again if I think it's an issue, because it needs fixing. This completely changes the game. Before, you had to actually aim at the person and shoot them, right? It's not a complex prospect, but it kept the skill involved in actually shooting people. Now, you can kind of bomb about if you want, and I'm not against run and gun gameplay, but there's a limit. Now, the game is altered because it's about who reacts first, not about who aims better. If you just react and aim kind of near the person, or if you've got a player that isn't particularly capable and they just aim near someone, perhaps they're sat in a corner and it makes up for their poor aim, now you just snap lock onto the target if you aim near enough and down they go. So when you feel like you didn't get a chance to react against an enemy that just drops you in a split second, this might have something to do with it. And I don't think we should be okay with that. It really does switch up what makes someone good at the game with this in place. And especially right now, I mean, this isn't going to be the case after 6.2, but right now, as we all know, recoil doesn't really exist, nor the guns are really easy to use. And that kind of negates the point in using some of the guns in the game. If you think about it, different guns have different roles within the game, but now if other guns are better at a wide variety of things, because perhaps before they weren't as accurate as other guns, but now with the lock-on, and especially right now with the lack of recoil, it gives you a much smaller number of guns to use. It's just overly forgiving. This isn't an arena shooter, this isn't a game with super advanced movements where we need the help, like in Destiny or Advanced Warfare when that was out or whatever, where you're flying around everywhere. This is Battlefield, where predominantly just, running along at a fairly slowish pace. There's a lot of time to line up your shots. There's nothing particularly surprising going on around you in terms of movement. So I don't think we need this lock-on. It's something that was reduced in BF1 because it was way too strong, and now we see it returning in Battlefield 5. And I don't think anyone really asked for it. Now, when I covered this before, there were people that said, well, you don't have to use it, do you? You can turn it off, you can reduce it. If you don't like it, just turn it off. That's not the point. Something that I and many other people dealt with in BF1, especially creators, was people saying, oh, you use the snap lock on aim assist, you're not very good. And, well, it was like, okay, if I turn this off, then I can still play, but I'm now at a disadvantage. That's the situation that's created. People either use it and remain on a level playing field, but all of the skill gap is gone, which is why it seems like bad players and good players can both just destroy each other now. But if you don't use it, maybe you can still perform well, but you're definitely not on a level playing field. People say, well, if you're a good player, you don't need to use it, do you? And it's like, well, okay, by that logic, let's cut off Ronaldo's arm because he's really good at football / soccer, whatever you want to call it. Or let's tie LeBron James's legs together when he plays basketball because he's too good. He shouldn't need to use both legs as he wishes to. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? My point is, why create this issue when you don't need to? But if you're not getting yet why this could be a problem after the TTK has changed, well, if they're reducing the time to kill of the weapons again, but increasing the recoil again, i.e., at least as far as some people are concerned, returning the skill and the thrill back to the game. So you got a reasonably fast kill time, guns are potent at most ranges again, and there's recoil to control and the guns have mechanics you have to master and all that kind of stuff. Well, if you still got this lock-on aim assist, one, the time to kill is going to be insane because you're going to go back to the time to kill that is the same as or similar to how it was before it was all changed in the first place, which was, as we know, a pretty fast time to kill. But now with lock-on, so reducing the amount of aim actually needed, you're going to quickly snap targets and they're going to die, and it's just going to be incredibly quick and potentially irritating, and again, the skill gap just is not going to be there. Combine that with the recoil thing, well, it kind of takes away some of the value of increasing that recoil again when you think about it. If you're locking onto the target, you've got that little bit of extra help again now, and with less bullets being needed to kill people, the recoil just might not be as much of a factor. You'll have to be a pretty bad shot to suffer with it, or be using a weapon that has a long time to kill at a certain range, at which point you're using it at the wrong range anyway, really. My prediction is, and yes, some of you know I have a source, so I get my information from within DICE, we're going to have a circumstance where long-range weapons are back to dominating, so semi-autos, because they'll be able to plink people at range, obviously, boom, 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 dead, or maybe the self-loading rifles or the recon class, and then at close range, you're just going to have things just locking on and insta-melting. This will switch up the meta, there will be new things to get used to, and different guns will dominate, which is good. It's good to have things change, but that doesn't mean it's all super well balanced. That doesn't mean the game performs quite as we would like it to. So it will probably be a lot easier to kill people, such as it is now also, but I have to ask, are we not getting tired of being absolutely mowed down by people with seemingly just extreme ease? Like, everyone now is a bit of a robot. I don't know, maybe it will be harder to kill people with the increased recoil, but the initial lock-on is certainly going to negate some of that. It's definitely not going to be particularly difficult, at least using some guns, and I promise you, some of you are going to feel like you're getting melted extremely quickly with this in place. So where is the skill? Where's the skill gap? Where's the skill floor? Where's the skill ceiling? Why is this in the game when seemingly nobody asked for it? Why is it not being removed when so many people have said they don't want it? All I can think of again is this is to cater to new / less able players, a strategy that I don't believe has worked for DICE so far anyway. All they have managed to do is frustrate the existing player base by changing the TTK 3 or 4 times, causing the weapon balance to be destroyed, and now having this snap lock on aim assist, so everything just feels extremely easy and not particularly satisfying. I see it in my comment section all the time now. I don't play this game anymore because I don't find it satisfying. They ruin the gunplay, etc, etc. This is a common theme that I see people come up with. So please, DICE, consider just getting rid of this again, or doing some kind of a mass reduction like you did in BF1. It doesn't make sense to, in one game, reduce it because people didn't like it being as strong as it was, and then in the very next one, in a game that does have gunplay that was reasonably praised, you then go and kind of destroy that by adding it in again in a pretty strong fashion, combined with all these TTK issues. It just doesn't make sense. So please try to come to your senses on this one. Please fix it. Why risk changing the TTK again to try and please people, but having this downside along with it, which could then disappoint people? You're only going to get so many chances to get people to come back. Please think about it, okay? So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think of the snap lock on aim assist. Do you want it? Do you not want it? Do you want it reduced? Do you see why I say it could be a problem with the fresh, faster TTK when it comes in? And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do think about hitting the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and all my social media links, including Patreon, are in the description and my pinned comment. Here's the Board of Awesome for those epic people who already support the channel on Patreon. They make a huge difference while I'm trying to diversify the content. They really do. So I love all of you. Thank you. You're great. I love them all deeply and, of course, often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with all that said, I'm GetGoodGuy, and I will see you next time. Laters. Very fun from what I've seen, so that's something to be somewhat excited about. Although we did know about this one a long time ago and it never actually turned up because it was kind of bugged, but we'll take it. You know, it's nice to get new stuff. And I believe there'll be new cosmetics. There's a new elite, Misaki Sakamoto. My Japanese isn't very good, so forgive me if that's wrong.